Salutations, Dufos. This is your fabulous leader, the Queen of Shade, coming at you with another special presentation. I am really just rolling full speed ahead with these conversations. I call them interviews initially, but they're really just conversations where I get to know you better and you get to know me better. And having said that, I have someone that you absolutely have to meet. You may know him. He's very, very popular, very, very beautiful. But let me tell you a little bit more about him. He's a beauty guru, hairstylist, makeup artist, motivator, film, and he also works in film and television. So we're going to have quite the conversation today and get to know Mr. Scott Spencer Miller.
Hey, hello everybody.
Hey, how
Hello.
are you?
Good. Thank you for having me.
You were kind of rushing home.
I know. I'm just getting in town and trying to get things in order. But when you asked me, I was like, we got to get this done. Let the spirit move us and motivate your people. And just want to thank you for being you and being the light that you create. I've been watching you for years. We've been following each other for a long time.
Before
And
then.
yes. And I just have watched the elevation of who you are and what you're creating, and it's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, I equally have watched you just as much. Can't get enough of your face. And then I see you just working with this person, working with that person, working on this movie, working on that one, working on this television show, working on that one. You're just everywhere. And I hope I did leave out, but you are the owner of a spa, right? Elevate, isn't it called?
Yeah, it's called Elevate Salon and Spa here in Atlanta, Georgia, where beauty and spirit meets. I have a motto where my motto in life is to elevate people through the world of beauty. So using our practices of doing your hair and makeup and making these spiritual moments in your life. So if you come to me or you go to someone else, make sure that they're balancing you and elevating you. So yes, that is.
What caused you to do it in Atlanta? Why not LA?
You know what, honey? I moved here about 15 years ago.
Oh, wow.
I had $100, my makeup, my massage table at the time, and I just packed up my car and I came down here with no place to go. But something in my spirit, I used to actually be a ballet dancer first, and I was living in New York at like 16, 17. And then I realized, I was like, oh, this is not the path. Let me stick to makeup. Like my spirit just started moving. So I went back to Detroit. That's where I'm from, the hood, Detroit, Michigan. And when I got back there, I realized that it was time for me to move somewhere else. And I chose, just spirit was like, go to Atlanta. It's always sunny there. Black people are doing well, and it's done me well. I love Atlanta.
Wow. So you've been in, you said 15 years, huh?
Yes.
Ballet dancer.
Yeah.
That's an amazing background. I love the arts. And that's what I love. I love that you stayed in the arts. Beauty is something that will never age. It will never go out of style. There are always young men and young women whom are in need of glam and tips and, pointers about how to present their best face. I recently, and my thing is, I've been doing this for a while. I've been in the entertainment industry for 20 years, but the Queen of Shade is only 5.5 years old. And like I told you before I came on here, I'm tired. I work hard. But what I love is that, you learn, it's the little things that make the beauty go to the next level or accent the beauty or make things stand out. I have a friend, his name is Ryan Butler, and he was signed as a makeup artist to, I believe, Wilhelmina. Was it Wilhelmina or was it Ford? It was one of the modeling agencies, but they have different sections. And he was signed to them in New York. And I just thank the divine that I'm not all high and mighty. I listen to everything that people say now. Now I know when somebody's trying to carry, so then I'll be like, okay, bitch, you just don't like me, whatever. But
Yeah.
I listen, especially I listen to him because he is my friend, and he told me, he was like, listen, I have just been looking at your makeup routine. He's like, you've come a long way. And he was like, Jay Glenn was the one that taught me how to give the top of my eye a line. He was like, you need a line at the top. So that was years ago. So then my friend Ryan Butler, he said to me probably, I want to say about a month ago, he was like, listen, your makeup is oxidizing too fast on your face. And he was like, it's not going the right way. And he was like, you're under a lot of lights. And I have 3 lights in here, and they're studio lights. And he said, that's why your makeup is oxidizing too fast. And the minerals and the oils in your skin, you need to, and he told me, I never even knew that they had this. He was like, you need HD makeup. So he was like, you need to get HD makeup. He referred me he gave me a couple of brands. None of them I chose. I found my own. But then he was like, your red lip. He was like, you need a line. And I'm like, okay, all right. And then the last thing he said was, lashes will make a difference to your look. And ever since he said that to me and I implemented what he said, my makeup has been better. So I praise all beauty gurus.
Yeah,
It
yeah, and I take it serious because I always say it's kind of like our armor to put on
is.
before. I always put a little bronzer on, a little something, some fragrance. I always say also is that luxury is the promise of happiness. So if you can find something that makes you feel luxurious, what are those moments and in your day? And I've watched you grow too, and I've just like I said, I've been a fan of just you evolving because it's a difference between I think that sometimes we try to go to internet and we look to try to find what we can relate to.
Yeah.
And a lot of people sometimes can't relate to the box that this world has created us to be. So what are the jewels that you can find on the way that make you feel more comfortable in your skin? And I think that if a lot of artists like myself, if we tap into this vibration a little bit more on helping people instead of just covering them up. When I work with an actress for a film, I have a lot of people that I have to talk to. I got the directors, I got the writers, I got the producers, and I'm really just a vessel being used to create this, what they want to come about, right? But I'm also working on a human being. I'm also like servicing someone, and so I take this moment before we create this character. I sit with my client and I say, get into your character, right? And what would this character do? How is she? How would he move his hair? Where would he get his haircut? Where would she get her haircut? What products would she use? And I realized is that I have been doing this with my clients all of my life. You
Mm.
know, what are the things that I feel like maybe if we can get out of this conversation is what you can get from me and we can put out in this world is that take your routine seriously. Take the moments that you create in the morning, the person that you represent and express to this world, take it seriously. Girl, boy, transgender, and anything. What if you want to wear eyeliner, bitch, make sure it's right. You know what I mean? Make sure it's the like this, you gonna wear a wig, whatever it is. Me, I'm gonna make sure I'm bronzed and tan because whatever it is in your life, make sure that you do that and you seek that abundance that you can create yourself. You know what I mean?
Do you find that you give a lot of makeovers just from people, like you'll see people and you're like, honey, let me get you together? Like, do you do that often?
I started that in the beginning of my career, and that's kind of what I miss. When I go like down on my downtime right now, like I still have clients that I'll see in the salon just to minister to them, just because you fed me before I was being fed out places. You know what I mean? You
Yes.
can't forget where you come from. So it's nothing like a regular client to me. There's nothing like because they're going to give you some energy sometimes that the industry can't give to you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's something I feed off of um, really tapping into who that person is. So I can't wait to see. We got red. What other colors do you do on your lips?
Uh, you know what's so crazy? I stick with red but this is the thing. I like different shades of red. This one's darker, but I usually go for something lighter. But I like red because for me, I'm a trans illusionist. So I'm not, one of my interviewers, one of my interviews, I love her, Sipping Tea with Miss D, Darnell Thomas. He said to me, he was like, listen, you don't fit the guidelines of transvestite. Stop saying that. That word's ancient. He was like, what you are is a trans illusionist. So he brought me into that. But I tend to keep my lips red because I'm an independent artist. I'm an independent artist whom many people in the industry has tried to, over the years, silence. So I wear red. I don't care. Some people say, oh, you shouldn't wear it for daytime. You shouldn't wear it for, these different things. I wear red all the time because it is symbolic of me saying, I always have something good to say. I always have something to say. I'm going to use my voice. Bring attention to these lips because they have something to say. So I tend to stick with red. I have worn other colors. I've worn, let me see, I've worn like a nude color before. I've worn purples. I've worn mostly red, but I've worn other things, green, blue. Like I've tried all of that stuff, but I like the red. This one, he actually he suggested for me as well. And my lipstick is actually much redder than this, but because I use a darker liner, when I mix the two, that's kind of what happens. And I just kind of liked what happened. Like somebody said to me one day, he's also in music, makeup. And he said to me, he was just like, where'd you get that color? And I'm just like, I did this and did that. And he was like, oh, that was usual. That was unusual, but okay, I like the color. So yeah, I love this because I get to talk about all things beauty with you.
Well, you know what, and I'm just gonna let the spirit lead me. I feel like also we gotta understand like the girls that are in becoming trans illusionists or that are becoming into their womanhood. What are the things that can make you settle into your, excuse my French, pussiness, whatever it can, settle into your being. You know what I mean? And I think my beauty tips is like make sure that you're paying attention to your skin.
Yeah.
It's no point of putting a whole bunch of icing on the cake if it's not baked right, baby.
Right.
What I mean is that you can pile a whole bunch of a clean and glowing skin can take you so much. So that's really paying attention. And sometimes that's using vanilla and brown sugar and egg whites, things that you can get from and really buff it in. And when you're saying that, you're transforming, your words, you just like you're saying that you have red lipstick, your words speaking over yourself and rubbing yourself and transforming yourself into who you see in your mind in front of your eyes, is so important. And I think that maybe if we touch the girls right now and tell them that start with the skin, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then also your foundation color. You need to pay attention. The most important thing is glowing skin. So making sure that if you're on TV like her, that you're using the HD, or one of my favorite foundations is called Luminous Silk Foundation by Armani. Okay. It's $75, but it lasts all day and it gives you a skin-like finish. And then wispy lashes are my favorite lash. If you guys want to get those, it's real kind, it's real like, soft and dainty, but you can double them up if you want to give it a little bit more. And what about my favorite lips? But also lips too, like making sure that you are exfoliating and, taking care. I mean, make those moments, because I feel like I could start seeing you started off with your foundation and you added your lip. And then you went to your hair. It was the bobs for a minute. And then you was like, okay, I want some textures and curls. And I saw the elevation. What made you feel like you stepped into your womanhood?
Pussiness.
Pussiness.
But you know what's so funny? It really wasn't difficult. I'm a shaman. So that means I operate out of masculinity and femininity. I have both spirits. I'm two-spirited. That's more of an ancestral term. But coming from fashion, I started in fashion years ago. I was 22 years old, got the opportunity to travel, voyage to Paris. I was there 6 months as a model. It was very, very hard, very, very hard. But I didn't realize then what I know now. I got there and my hair, I had been growing my hair for years. So I had long hair. And I think I did get like micro braids or something like that. I think I might have had something like that. And, you know, I had them braided at the root, but the rest of it was just like out. And I remember, you know, just not even the reactions of the agents, but the reactions of the clients. I remember the reactions, like on the first day I was there, I wasn't, and at that time I wasn't wearing makeup. I believed in my skin. So I wasn't wearing any makeup. So I remember just settling down, and my friend who was from Paris, he was taking pictures. And every time I looked over, men were looking at me. Like I noticed that. And then as I walked the Champs-Élysées, because I would always do that because there were agencies on the back streets that I had to visit like right off the Champs-Élysées. And I remember women walking with their men, and I would hear them say, because at that time it was just hair, my body, I worked out a lot, and good skin. And I remember the women saying, "She's so beautiful," like as I passed. And it made me feel really, really good. So when I when I got to the agencies, well, actually when Fashion Week rolled around, a lot of the fashion editors started telling me, tapping me on my shoulder, like, you know, you need to be doing women's shows, right? You know your body type and the way you're naturally genetically built, you need to be doing the women's shows. Well, coming from a very religious home and a family of seers that knew that this was coming, that wanted to dispel it and give it a negative connotation, at that time it worked. So that was 15 years ago. And they were telling me these things like, you know, you should wear the women's clothing. You came here, but you need to do women's fashion. I was scared. I said, no, I can't do that. I don't want to change myself. And I think about how it would have went had I been more comfortable as I am today. And you asked the question, and I gave the story, but here's how the evolution happened and how I felt that I could slip into this more readily is I do it alone. I do it by myself. I never go out like this. I don't go anywhere like this. It's always done in a very safe space when I'm alone. I don't even walk around my house like this. This is for me. I know that sounds crazy.
No, it doesn't.
But this is for me. This is what I saw in the mirror when I looked. And I love both. I have the duality. I'm a handsome man, handsome girl. So I love both, but when I do this is really for me. And what I love about it is I'm sitting in front of a camera. So people get to peer in, but they can't hurt me. I can't be bullied. I can't be talked down. I can't hear, oh, well, why did he choose that dress color? Or why did he choose that? I can't hear any of that. And I like that. That's what helped me settle in, was that I literally shut everything out. I literally, my drapes closed. This is for me. And I had a neighbor one time because I was getting a FedEx package, and I ran to the door because I was the only one home, and I was dressed like this. And he's straight. All of them are. And now they support me so avidly. I love my neighbors on all sides. But I came to the door like this, and I grabbed the package from the FedEx guy. I said, thank you, and closed the door. And my neighbor was going to say hello to me, and I saw that he was going to say hello to me, so I shut the door. And I remember him asking me, he was like, hey, he waited some days, and then he saw me normal. And then he said to me, he's like, hey, and I'm like, yeah. He was like, we all know what you do. You know, we watch you, right? I'm like, yeah. He was like, why did you run? Why did you hide your beauty? And I didn't have an answer for him. I didn't have an answer for him. I don't know. Oh wow, I didn't expect this to happen, an emotional response. But like I was bullied pretty badly in my life. And I've had 14 years of therapy, but I've never really discussed this. So when you asked me that question, it kind of just like rolled into my emotions is that I don't, outside of my safe space, I don't feel comfortable. It's also the main reason why I don't do public appearances and sing.
I was just about to, you know what's so funny is that you felt my spirit about to ask you why. Before
Um,
I could even ask you why, I didn't ask you why.
yeah,
And also in my spirit, I was just about to say, well, what are you gonna do when they call you to call in public?
yeah, I'm working on it.
Yeah, you know what the thing is that I love that you even created the safe space that you created that safe space because some people before that point, what were you doing, right? You know, was it even a point where you were just flashing by with it, you know, and you were like
And
getting little fixes,
no,
you know what I mean? So now you created her, and maybe you know I would say that I do think that sometimes that's funny that my spirit is saying this. So I even as being a gay male, I feel like sometimes we're not able to, we never had examples to go about in our relationships or our lifestyles in general. We haven't watched many of gay men or women come from childhood and stories of how they became who they are. So the process that you're going through is so unique that it is kind of like going back into a womb, right? It's going back into the spiritual realm and you to create who she is. So maybe I'm excited to push her out a little bit more. You
don't,
know what I mean?
I'm like,
Because
don't push it, don't push it. I'm
you know,
like,
baby, you got to get in a pregnant position and hoop this baby on out of there,
say,
okay?
you said we
You know
gonna
what I
birth
mean?
this girl. We gonna
Because
birth
you know,
this
I
girl.
will say this is that my spirit says this to you because I don't want her to become a stillborn.
Right, right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can't, you know, but I do believe in that is that one we're finding because I can say the same with me because when growing up in Detroit, I wasn't, you know, I wasn't black enough, I wasn't white enough,
Right.
I wasn't straight enough, I wasn't gay enough. Um, and at a young age though, I found myself that I was like, if I become me, and I started to find what that was like. You know, sometimes I like to dress feminine, sometimes I'm dressed masculine. You know, that's just who I am, right? You know, and when I found myself, it doesn't matter what the people see because I'm addicted to whoever you want to be.
Yeah.
We are, we are.
Yeah.
Like we want to just like him and you went straight to the store you know you gave everything that whoever is watching right now. So if you're battling with an addiction, if you're battling with loving yourself,
Mhm.
it's okay to go back into your cocoon, but make sure when you're in this cocoon you're loving on yourself.
Mhm.
You're taking you know spiritual moments to build yourself up so you can look like the person. Even if you're a straight man, if you're watching us and you need to work out, you know, and you need to eat healthy, your breathing is not right. We're in dangerous times right now. These negative energies are really, really attacking everybody on this human form. So what are you doing
But
to really balance yourself out? You know what I mean?
yeah.
So yes, I encourage you because out of this conversation, I just feel like, mother, I'm having a platform to start you right here in Atlanta. Okay, we having a table talk. Okay, so 2000, what is it, 2022, baby? We about to, we taking this live. I want everybody to start saying yes, yes. Tell her she's coming out the box. Okay.
You know what it is too? I don't know if you know, you've been following me for a long time, so you might know I live with mental illness. So it's bipolar type 1, it's acute anxiety. and
Mhm.
PTSD from my childhood. So there's 3 diagnoses. So I have to take the very best care of myself possible. So in my 14 years of therapy that I've had, we've done the work on me taking care of me. But this right here, she's so special.
But she's not. She's different. You aren't the same. You aren't the same being.
Yeah.
You are multiple beings.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to take multiple personalities, and that's okay. You know what I mean?
I don't have that, thank God. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna lie to that.
but meaning
But
that,
I get what you're saying though.
yeah, well, we ought to me, it's not multiple, maybe multiple spirits or things that we have to balance out because I
It's
think
just
that,
dimensions. It's just dimensions.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah, because even with your anxiety, because I've never had anxiety as much as I've gone to started to in my older
Mm.
life. I've experienced moving in. I've been in Spain for the past 6 months,
Yeah,
and living somewhere where no one speaks your language, that you don't, opposite of where Atlanta, everyone's black, everyone's gay, everyone's, I see all races, all forms of life. But being put into this small town and not seeing myself, that was something that I never experienced.
right,
So the words of, even from my sister saying, I don't feel seen, I never knew what that meant
right.
until now. And that is the dimensions of myself. So I encourage everybody that's watching to dive into your cocoons.
Yeah. And I know that the next step for me is to publicly appear. Too many people have been offering me things. Too many people have been trying to book me for things, and I decline. And part of my attitude was, I don't really like America. I never really did. I'm one of those people that wants to leave. I'm looking at, I want to live in Paris, but it looks like I may stop in Lisbon, Portugal first, and then go on to Paris. But I have to say this. Why am I today? What did you do? Who are you? What did you do? But you know what it is? I guess your spirit might have felt me, and that's the thing, because people watch, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. But you've been watching for a long time. You felt me.
I
There-
pray for you, sis. I
Yeah,
pray for you, sis. I pray for you to find who you are.
yeah,
I've watched your videos and I've prayed for you. So this moment isn't surprising to me.
yeah,
I'm surprised, because I knew that you are spirit, but the thing is that I want to encourage you too, is that this is not your life.
right.
It is your life, but this isn't your life. This is this is just that spirit is so much bigger than the shell that you're worried about.
Yeah. The next step is for her to emerge. It's just that, like I said, in America, I don't want anything to do with America. I don't want anything to do with America.
But if you got to get out to get to the other next step.
Yeah. My grandmother says it all the time, Queen Mother. She says it all the time. It's just like what I'm looking at over here on this side, she saved my life. And
She gave you purpose.
yeah, and I just don't want to. It's why I'm independent. It's why I turned down modeling contracts. It's why I turned down record contracts with lucrative contracts, because I just felt the need to protect her. I just feel the need to protect her. She is not, like you said, she is not like anybody else. This world has never seen anyone like her. And my attitude is, I just am very, very cautious, Scott, very cautious. I'm just so cautious with where I take her, who she's around, what she sees, what she says, what she touches, because even as a shaman, I spend a lot of time alone, because when I walk into a room, I'm in work mode. I start to see. That's that prophetic anointing. I start to see. And it's like, so I'm ready to work the room. We're ready to bring about deliverances and freedoms and things like that. And I know in order to do that, you need to be free yourself. I do understand that. It's just that I'm so, like you said,
Well, you know what, honey?
this
At
was
the
my
end of
way
this
out.
conversation, it's done from here on out. I stand that I am walking spirits that you have not met before right into this room and
Mhm,
this connection right now.
mhm.
That healing, because what it is that you need to heal so you can reflect and see the reflection, because others are nothing but reflections of ourselves.
Right?
So I'm reflecting your light from you to heal you,
Yeah,
and allow yourself to walk into the next chapter of your life.
yeah,
Because if you can have that much power, and
yeah,
I do have that power too. When I walk into a room, sometimes I can tell somebody their their depression before I even know their name. I will
yeah.
remember your presence. I will remember the spirits that walk with you before I know your name.
Mhm.
And that's okay. But we have to control those. Those are the powers that reside in us. And I would encourage you to also, if you knew how many spirits walk with you,
Mhm.
how many ancestors
I do.
that have been protecting y'all
I do.
and protecting her.
I do. I know. I'm aware.
So I don't want to, and now I'm going big brother mode. I don't want to hear all that now. Now I want to see her in presence.
And you know what the thing is? Everyone does. And my answer and my question is why? Why?
Because if
And
it's
this is
this connect, let me tell you,
go ahead.
if it's this magnificent through these vibrations, how more magnificent if I touch the garment?
I worked 5.5 years straight creating this character. I didn't make a single dime, Scott. All these people in my face. Oh, I love you. I love you. I love you. I didn't make a single dime. I have Cash App. I have music for sale. You can book me for a mentorship. You can book me for life coaching. I had I have a couple of clients that were really good to me, but 124,000 followers, and I didn't make a dime. I asked other influencers that quote unquote support me how they monetize their platforms. All I knew how to do and all I came into this game doing was working hard and using the gifts that the divine gave me. I needed help with the monetization. And people, for some reason, they want you to do well, but not better than them, especially when they see that you have the potential to go further than they could ever fly. For 14 years of my life, Scott, I've had a Hollywood insider doing malicious things to me behind the scenes to stop my money, hacking my phones, all kinds of things. I have my lawyer on it. We're trying to gather as much evidence as possible to do the economic damage lawsuit. Things and people have done some heinous things to me, and yet I still get up and I still do this. It's not about them. It's about my work. But my thing is, if you could not support her here, why do you want to see her in person?
Well, I think that I have to combat that. Is that if God gave you everything that you were asking for all in that one moment, if before you could groom yourself into who I see right now, if God gave you all the flourishments that you deserved at that moment, that you deserve, then you wouldn't be able to. We're as human beings, sometimes we're not able to grow and become who we need if God gives us everything. Why would we work?
See, that's where I'm different, Scott. I know my purpose.
You know your purpose.
I would have worked anyway. I would have worked anyway.
But sometimes that's the laws don't know each spirit, right? It knows its spirits, right? But there's some basic spirits that we have to go through. You know what I mean? And I just encourage you again that maybe it's not within, a couple of weeks or so,
It's
but
been
give your
5 years. And I've been an
Why don't you
independent.
start with a small group, like a small group of 10 people or 12 people, however, whatever your spirit leads you to group, and start there.
That's a good idea. But that's my thing. My thing is this hair, this makeup, these lashes, this flower, this dress, I paid for. I paid for. Everybody says, oh, you wear such beautiful things. I paid for them. I have had help when it was really low, because that was the thing. During the pandemic, my LLC had to be disillusioned. I wasn't making any money. And then I had to wait. And my friends, and this is the thing, doing this brought me a really good group of people, some friends, some acquaintances. And those people helped me start my new LLC. They were like, this is not the end for you. But my thing is, it's not, okay, I have to say it, I am upset. I am upset. I have to say it because I was going to in spirit say, tell the truth. I am upset. I am upset.
Why?
I am very upset because my thing is, I offer more than most influencers ever could. I gave Instagram alone 22,000 originally scripted 60-second moments of my life. And I see other influencers knowing how to monetize, knowing how to do this and knowing how to do that. And my thing is, I was willing to admit my ignorance so that I could learn. And you know what they did? They took that as an advantage over me. Well, if we keep her in this position, she won't advance. And I mean, get this, I got people that really love me. My first article in a newspaper or magazine came from London, which is why I want to leave the country. I don't want to do anything here.
Okay.
I don't want to.
Well, so I got to travel to London for us to do this.
Paris.
Okay, I ain't vaccinated yet, so we got to work on that.
You gotta get vaccinated. I'm vaccinated.
We got to work on it. But listen, so what I really thank you for giving us her though, and
a lot of people do.
And even I could say the same with me. You know, becoming a makeup artist and hairstylist. To be honest. I've walked into rooms that a lot of Black men aren't able to walk in. We've never walked in before, right? I sit at tables and I don't see myself.
Right.
So I connect with your spirit. And even now coming in, and it's so similar, your story and my story, and I think a lot of other people's stories, that when we're in growth, they're never friendly.
Mm-mm.
And I will say that this recent breakthrough that I had, because it was so many days that I just wanted to quit and come home.
Mm-hmm.
Because even when I went home, I went to a grocery store and people are looking at me
mm-hmm.
like I'm about to steal something, and I'm like, I'm just trying to get me some, some vegetables and some fruit, you know what I mean? Like, and so those spirits are the ones that distract us, and when I tell you, it finally, and it's so funny that you said that, it took me to Lisbon. So we went to Spain for 3 months, and then we went to Portugal.
Mm-hmm.
And the energy that I got there was so fulfilling.
Mm-hmm.
And I was able to do something else, a part of the production that I had never done before. And I realized that if I would have quit,
you'd have missed it.
If I would have went home in
mm-hmm.
my feelings,
mm-hmm.
if I would have listened to the people that told me, no, Scott, stick with makeup, you can't do both, you can't do hair, or you're just starting out, you can never be, brought across country. If I would have listened to those people, if you listen to those spirits and those negative people that keep telling you that we don't deserve to see you, those are those energies and those things in your mind that is telling you that you don't deserve to be seen. I don't care if it's America, whatever your design positioning needs to be, and allow us to walk into your space and to be able to give back what you've given to us.
You know what's so crazy, Scott? I prepared to move out of the country and continue to do it this way because it was safe. I
Well,
literally
honey, we got one life to live, sis.
see. My thing is, I'm not a Scott. I'm not a part. I've been through a lot, and this is outside of entertainment. With my family, with religion, I'm not a Christian today. There's a lot of things, and even before this happened, there was a young boy who died. He died, and another one was born. My grandmother calls me the Phoenix all the time. He died. Another boy took his place. But that boy, I'm upset because that first boy didn't have to die. That first boy didn't have to die. Now, mind you, with my authority, I can resurrect him.
I
Now,
was just about to say that now.
now that I am who I am, I can resurrect him. But my point is, I will never let anyone ever harm him again. And if that means that I have to always remove myself, I will do that. I'm not fighting with someone, Scott, for the right to be who I am. I refuse. I refuse.
I feel you.
I'm not
I
doing
feel
that.
you.
I'm not, and I'm not offering an explanation. I'm there. So I'm not giving you an explanation as to why this is what it is. It is what it is. Not your cup of tea? Scroll on. Scroll on.
But I think, and that's what I think from this conversation is that
Child, I'm gonna be at the top of your prayer list.
you always been at the top. It's the weirdest part is that you always jumping in my spirit. I'm like, okay, girl, okay, I'm praying for you. It's always something that, it always connected. So when you asked me to do this show, of course we all got things. I'm like, yeah, I'm going on with her. You know what I mean? And and I'm so glad. Hopefully this conversation. Hold on one second. My baby's about to be loud.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, y'all. But hopefully that this conversation helps everyone get out of their cocoons.
Yeah.
And
it's
hard.
You know what the crazy thing though is? This is her out. She's out of her cocoon because you saw this. You saw when she had her grandmother's church hats on and a red lip. You saw her when she started dressing and no longer showing her body with just, a little necklace on or anything. Then she started wearing costumes. Then she had on sunglasses. Then she took her sunglasses off. Then came the wigs and the dresses and the makeup and the polish. I had to be given the opportunity to grow. And now, and this was the thing, I had to give it to myself. My grandmother supports me so much, but she didn't understand everything that I was doing. She just trusted the divine that I would get to where I needed to be. But that bothered me. It bothered me immensely because my thing is, I'm not here for you to judge me. I'm here for you to love me. And love is just not your words. Love is what you do. Love is action. So my thing is, and I'm gonna just be honest, I could throw a meet and greet. My concern is, are you going to pay to come to the meet and greet? Because it's not going to be cheap. So you can run into any other meet and greet from a social influencer and get in. And meet and greet with me is going to cost you. It's going to cost you. And that's the thing. I know that I'm on a different level. I know people are like, oh, you're going to have a talk show. Why do I need a talk show? I am a celebrated recording artist in 56 countries. Most people get one gift. I got them all. And then on top of that, shaman, oracle, prophet, seer, healer. I'm not, no, you're not going to catch me on a panel with other social media influencers who don't like me anyway. I would rather live my life, Scott, doing this. I enjoyed this because here, all the naysayers and negative energy is silenced. And we can create art that will last longer than both of us. And I don't like to be interrupted when I work because I am communing with so many ancestors and spirit and the divine. I don't like to be interrupted. I'm the type of person that even if I even if I sing, no one in the room can move. You can't get up and go to the bathroom. No, not while I'm singing, because if you do, you break my concentration. Wait till I'm done the song, and then I'll ask you, if you need to move, then move. I'll wait. Because literally my spirit fills the space. I feel every single person in the room. And that is something that I had to go to therapy about and learn about, is that my spirit fills spaces. So any vibration that is off, I'm going to feel it. It's like you said, who touched me? Who touched my garment? Who touched me? That's how I feel when I'm working. So that's why I literally just stay in my space. And I know, I get it. I got my haters, they watching, they doing all of that stuff. Oh, well, we're going to win because, oh, she won't come out. She doesn't want to come out. I'm not interested in Hollywood. But my thing is, I also feel that I'd be freer in France. I have waited to do, I have 4 albums out. I've waited to do a music video because I don't want to do it here. In France, I can go out like this because I did it before. I did it before. I walked that whole circular city, every arrondissement, and literally nobody, they stared, but then I heard, she's beautiful. Wow, you're beautiful. So it was a whole different atmosphere. I'm not, and that's the sad thing, is this person in Hollywood, you're fighting for a spot in Hollywood. You can have Hollywood. I just said that to my grandmother this morning while we were running errands, which was why I was tired. I ain't tired no more. Second win. But you know, you can have Hollywood. I got the rest of the world. I guarantee you there's more money out here than there is in Hollywood. I guarantee it. So you stay on in there. You stay on in there. You want Hollywood, you can have Hollywood. I'm not interested in Hollywood. I want the world. I want to see the world, enjoy the world. That's what I'm after. I realized that I wasn't just an entertainer. And when I did, I realized that I deserved a real life. Entertainers, we're employed to make other people happy. We're employed to make other people feel good. I don't have to do that, Scott. I don't have to do that.
You're right.
I don't. This right here, as Tamar Braxton said about Vince, this right here is completely different. So I have plans to do music videos and people to see me and things like that, but it's not going to be in this country. You love me? Get a plane ticket. Get a plane ticket. Because I have to this point created my environment, created my world. We are all small universes. We create everything. We are our own sun. We are our own moon. We are our own heaven. We are our own hell. And I know that. So I just, no. You're right. Maybe I should start with 10, see if I get the money to book me as a mentor.
Well, it's happening right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's happening right now. You just made that moment for yourself. You just made that moment that says someone buy your ticket. Your ticket's bought.
Yeah. I didn't mean my ticket. I mean buy your ticket to come see me.
Buy your ticket. Okay. So that's it. So be clear in it. Be clear in it.
Clear. Buy your ticket to come see me.
Where is it gonna be at? Where are we gonna be at?
I'm gonna do France, because at first it was gonna be I'm moving to Lisbon. One of my buddies lives there, and he talked to me about, it's a way to avoid a lot of red tape. with hopping from country to country. So I'm going to take a detour because Lisbon offers amazing, amazing, amazing things that can also help me step into the French market, the German market, the Swiss market, so, and that's another thing. I'm too intelligent. And that's another thing. People, there is thought, Scott, behind everything I do. Deliberate thought. I do nothing absent-minded. Nothing. And most people do not utilize their brain at that capacity every single day. They don't. I did not mean to do this. I don't know where this came from. Scott, you know what? But they don't. I'm just continue. They don't. I utilize every single facet of my mind, body, soul, and spirit every single day. Do you know what it's like to live with that kind of freedom and power? I'm special, and I know that. So I'm not going to run around and do what the rest of them are doing. I remember when a young man said to me, he too was going to Hollywood and he was making his way. And he said, oh, you need to move to Hollywood and you need to do it this way and you need a plan. You can't stay in Philadelphia. And I said, I'm not going to stay in Philadelphia. And he was like, well, you need to come to LA. I said, I'm not interested in LA. He was like, well, what is it? I said, I have a plan. He said, what is your plan? I said, you'll see it when I execute it. He's no longer here. He's alive, but he's no longer a social media influencer, because many influencers tell you. I heard K-Way say he had 2 million followers and not a dime in his pocket. This is not a plight of just me. A lot of influencers are going through this. And my thing is, so what do? You have to be more than an influencer. And that's why my outfit is what it is. I own 4 trademarks: the Queen of Shade, my name Bjorn Dufault, my last name Dufault, and the name Kali, that's going to be for my modeling agency. I'm not playing with these people. So I move differently. Them's, we came and took pictures and leave that for them. Leave that for them. That's what they're there for. I'm about my Father's business. And it's different. And I understand, maybe I shouldn't be so angry, but this was the test, Scott. This was the test. Okay, you love her? This was the test. Her Cash App is this. You can book her for mentoring. The rate is $250 for 60 minutes.
And what was it? And my spirit is saying that we know what we'll get, but tell us what we'll get more. Tell us what is more clear on, if I book a 60-minute session for you, just like now, y'all receiving 2 different beings, 2 different energies, 2 different ways of living, and we're still coming up with the same challenges, is that we're healing in the process of growing and finding safe spaces that we can live in. Because you know what, for me is, I respect that safe space that you've created. And who am I to tell you that she needs to come out? Right.
But I understand why you said what you said, because when you said it, the divine said, ding, I heard him in my head. Ding, ding, ding. You were made for more. The divine tells me all the time, you were made for more. But my attitude is, I'm just like, Dad, they gotta pay me.
And they will, but guess what? I feel like we also is like, we are. You may not see it, but just to be living in the breath that you're taking right now, the purpose that you're creating, we're paying for it. What you see of what your life, the things that you're looking to accomplish, that could be done overnight.
Yeah.
That can be done by the time we get off this phone. You could have had so many sales, whatever it is. But that's the thing, is that and that's what I love about being okay with it, tell you that safe space is okay, because it's so magnificent. So many people, we haven't even been able to create a safe space where you just sit with yourself and become who she is. And then you gave me you gave me the understanding, the responsibility, and said you were right though, Scott. I am supposed to get out. So now we're moving past this being of you sitting at home looking at this video and you trying to figure out why did you take the time out to listen to us. And I just feel like it's because you are getting paid so much beyond what you can think of. What the things that God has for you, you can't even imagine.
I know. And this is,
I know you know, and I'm telling you right now, I'm confirming it.
yeah, I've been
I'm
being
confirming
told
it for you.
before there was ever a hater, before there was ever a queen. I was 8 years old, and prophets and shaman and seers, I've had them all my life tell me how special I am and that I would have and where I would go and what I would do, and that I would go from the very bottom to the very top. But
Are you ready?
my thing is this, I'm ready, but get this, are they ready? I'm not gonna say you, because you're ready. You've been on this train a long time. Are they ready? Because the stipulations that I have, oh, I have some stipulations. I have some stipulations.
And everybody won't be ready.
No,
Everybody
exactly.
won't be ready.
No, and that's the thing. And I just want to put this out there. I want to thank everyone, because I'm saying this. I want to thank everyone who does support me. I am so gracious for that. I have clients and they book me religiously, and money is no object. And I'm just so thankful that they value the reverence of what I'm saying to them. When you book me you ask me to explain what happens. Now, mind you, on my website, it says I have tabs, who I am, what I do. Like we all, like, my thing is, I'm like, okay, I don't want to believe that the public needs to be spoon fed, because I did not spoon feed them. I threw this at them and they adjusted to me, So, but it's all there. But literally, when you book me, you get this. You get this. I sit on my phone, it's a video console, and we talk about the deep, intimate things in your life that you just feel you can't get past. And I use my abilities to help you figure it out. See, I'm not prophesying to you, though I could. See, it's one thing about prophecy that I don't like: no solution. You're giving hope, but where's the solution? I give solutions. Well, sweetheart, if you're this, that, and the other, then you can do this to start. You don't want to do a whole bunch of stuff and run ahead and bump your head or trip or fall. Do this one thing. We'll talk about it next week. I give people the same space I had to grow. To grow. I can't believe I did this and it's recorded. I can't believe it. What's your birth sign?
I'm an Aries.
That's why. I'm a Libra. We're like the opposites of each other. Oh my God, that's why. You just pulled it right out of me. Like, I'm like, but yes, like, I'm going to do music videos. I was looking, I'm not gonna lie, I'm looking at the Ritz-Carlton downtown Philadelphia, because I have this beautiful red crinoline dress, and I'm going to, hire this one model, and I want it to kind of be like in the hotel at the bar, and I'm kind of singing one of my songs. I think it was going to be Only One. That name is called Only One. But something real sultry, seductive, and I'm dressed really nicely. And listen, my neighbor right across the way, he works for BET. He's a DP. Director of productions and film and all of that stuff. He worked right there. He lived right there. Him, his beautiful wife, and their new two almost 1.5-year-old baby. They live right there. So if I really need, he take pictures, and he takes pictures too. So he got pictures of everybody, Cardi, everybody. He they fly him to LA all the time. He's always gone. Then he comes home. That's it. It's right here. So I know when I'm ready. Okay. But on top of that, if they want to see that from me, I'm not paying for it all by myself.
You won't.
No.
You won't.
And I'm not afraid to say that. I had my A&R from the record label I was going to sign with. He commended me, because when I first put my music out in 2013, it wasn't no SoundCloud situation. It wasn't, oh, please go listen. No, 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 no. It's for sale. And he told me, you set the precedent for how you want your following to treat you. It's for sale. It's for sale.
It's your self-worth. And I
Yeah,
believe in that. I support you in that. But
yeah.
your self-worth is about to be met.
And get it, I know it's coming. I got a lot of seers around me. My grandmother, my 20-year-old nephew, they're like, baby, what you're doing, because this is new. The divine told me to do this. I didn't plan to do this. And it has been going beautifully. I'm booked
And it
every day.
will.
Yeah, I'm booked every day. I got interview after interview after interview after interview.
And it will, sis.
And
And I can't wait. Can I just be in as a part of the top 10? Okay. I just want to be in the room of the top 10. And we're gonna be in Paris, right?
I know what
All
I'm
right.
gonna do. I know what I'm gonna do to you. I'm gonna walk up on your fine ass outside of a wig. And I'm gonna get real close in your ear and say, you gonna eat your cornbread.
You're so silly.
Listen, I got a lot to offer, Scott. I got a lot to offer.
Yes. Yes, you do. And I love every bit of it.
So listen, tell everybody where they can find you on social media, all your social media.
All right. Yeah. It's just really Scott Spencer Miller on everything. That's my website, my IG, my Facebook. And every day I am who what you see. I try to produce love, light, and elevation through the world of beauty. And that's me. So Scott Spencer Miller.
And you've already given me a word, so give me 3 words to inspire a young person trying to come up in the beauty industry.
Okay, I'm gonna think before I speak. You know,
Okay.
That's one.
Okay.
Think before you speak.
Okay.
Master the basics.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever it is, master your skill set.
Mm-hmm.
And 3, self-worth.
Mm-hmm.
Know what your worth is, because if you started from the beginning of thinking before you speaking, you practice your skill set. So whatever someone puts in front of your table, you're able to execute. And 3, knowing that self-worth to being paid for what you're worthy for.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, Queen. I love you.
I love you too.
Thank you.
Hold on, don't go nowhere. Don't go nowhere.
Okay, don't go nowhere.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, you have heard the vocal stylings of Mr. Scott Spencer Miller. Say goodbye. No,
Bye, y'all.
don't go nowhere. I'm just gonna stop the recording.
Okay.